That's interesting because that's what got me to where I'm at to a some degree. That's pretty telling. I 10th grade, I was depressed, even contemplated, and I said to myself, you know what? Why do I care so much about what other people think about me? When I did that, I was a completely different guy. I am not the same guy in high school. I was afraid of my own shadow. Now I'm like, hey, what's up?
All good.
Right.
Perfect. So let's hear with this gentleman. I love this shout out to Diary of a CEO. This is a clip, and this gentleman was actually, I was surprised, John Caracal, and he is talking about surveillance, etc. So you know that got my attention. But I was surprised at his answer to this question. I actually want to steal this from this podcast, but it'll be straight up biting if I stole it on their technique, because you're going to hear him say the last person left a question for you. And I think that's what threw it off and was like, wait a minute. Whoa, here it is. He's talking about CIA spying, etc. But the last question that was given to him, you could tell it hit this dude deep. And that was one reason why I thought about this topic for the show. Here we go.
We have a closing tradition where the last guest leaves a question for the next, not knowing who they're going to be leaving it for. And the question left for you is, what's something you stopped doing that improved your life more than anything you started?
Feeling sorry for myself. I'll be honest with you. I have struggled with depression my entire life. And after my second divorce, I went through this period where I couldn't pull myself out of bed in the morning because I felt so sorry for myself.
Because of the divorce, or because of your life, or because...
The whole thing. I believed I was just a loser. I was in my 50s, unemployable, convicted felon, barely able to make ends meet, worried about where my rent was coming from one month to the next. And then I thought, fuck you. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You don't have to answer to anybody. And I told myself no more feeling sorry for myself. I was going to go make a career on my own. And so I knew I would never work for government again. I knew I would never work in corporate America again. After I left the CIA, I was the head of the competitive intelligence practice at Deloitte & Touche, spying on Ernst & Young and PwC and IBM. And it was great fun. I'll never work in the corporate world again. So I decided I'm going to do what I'm good at. And I'm a terrific writer. And I'm told that I'm a gifted storyteller. So I'm going to write books. I have 2 syndicated newspaper columns that run in 212 small town papers around the country. I'm on TV all the time. I have 3 podcasts, deprogram every day on both YouTube and Rumble. Thanks for letting me plug them, by the way.
Go ahead.
On YouTube and on Apple Podcasts, John Kiriaku's Dead Drop, which is just story after story after story. And now I make a perfectly great living. I'm in a long-term relationship with the woman I'm crazy about, and life is good.
And it all started with that decision to stop feeling sorry for yourself.
Yes. If people around me keep saying, you've done nothing wrong, you're a hero for what you did, and deep down, I would do it again, then why am I feeling sorry for myself? I'm right. They're wrong. They're criminals. So I'm just going to go on with my life. And that snapped me out of it.
You know, that's interesting because that's what got me to where I'm at to a some degree. That's pretty telling. I 10th grade, I was depressed, even contemplated. And I said to myself, you know what? Why do I care so much about what other people think about me? When I did that, I was a completely different guy. I am not the same guy in high school. I was afraid of my own shadow. Now I'm like, hey, what's up? You know, completely different. I mean, but it's again, you self-awareness. You have to be aware of what gets you down, and then you have to ask, like he said, why? Ask yourself, why are you depressed? Why? Okay, you got a stumbling block. Figure it out. Move on to something else to get you out of this. Do something. Don't make it detrimental. Don't make it expensive. Have a plan.
Yes, sir.
And work the plan.
Yeah, man,
that was good. I like that.
Let me ask this: how did you come? I mean, you came to a revelation at what, 14, 15, 16 years old, that people are just now coming to at 56. What do you think the difference was?
I stopped looking for. I wasn't looking to others for who I am. I didn't look for others for my identity. You know, I got bullied in high school, and a girl came to my rescue. I ain't gonna kid you. I was like, yeah, I needed it at the time, but I don't need it no more. You know what I mean? So you got to look at something and make it a positive. It can be bad. It can be real bad. And I pride myself that I confronted that guy with his family. I felt good.
Yeah. See?
Yeah. Statute of limitations. Don't tell nothing that
Hey, but I agree 100% with Derek. I love that video. I like what he was saying. And yeah, everybody goes through depression. We are human beings. We're going to go through that, and especially with men. Nobody gives a damn if you sitting in your room crying and soaking. You just going to look stupid. When I was going through that stuff, I wasn't as young as Derek, but when I was going through that stuff with my depression and all of that type of stuff, and just like with him, a woman actually saved me. She was such of a higher caliber woman that I think I couldn't get her, but she was so interested in me, she pulled me out of that and made me realize, you know what? I am not a loser. I didn't stay with her, but I'm not a loser, and I can actually get out here and do something. So if you change your mentality and get out there and actually physically start moving, I don't give a damn what it is. Go rake a leaf, walk around the block, go to there, go sit at McDonald's or something like that. Do something to get you out that normal drab. Nobody else is going to validate you. This ain't the valet parking. Nobody's going to validate you. You got to do it yourself. Do it yourself. So men, even at 50, 15 and 50 seems like it is so far apart, but we still have those same feelings and emotions that sometimes we got to break through. We grown now. Put them big boy drawers on. Let your nuts hang.
Good stuff, y'all. And just to be definitely responsible, the self-deletion hotline, if any of you guys are struggling with that, the self-deletion hotline is, let me confirm, because I just looked at it, but I'm getting old. You know, y'all know brother got old, but I want to make sure this is right. That is 988. That is again, if we're on YouTube, the self-deletion and crisis hotline. Again, that number is 988, because it's hard as a guy. Again, we're talking about losing your job, being divorced, and you realize I am more valuable to people now dead than I am alive. And that's a hard thing, because I'm already tell you, me and another guy was talking about, oftentimes if you have daughters, sorry to tell you, but a lot of times your daughters really communicate with you because they want your inheritance, they want some money, you help take care of them, you fix their car, you take care of their house. That's really the impetus behind why they check on daddy. And so when you realize that even you being dead, you're still even valuable to your ex-wife, which, pro tip, guys, get her off that life insurance policy.
Oh, yes.
Not get her off that life insurance.
Quickly.
Yes, quickly. If you're going through a divorce, you better do it.
And emergency contacts. Do the emergency contacts too, because I was in the hospital and she came up there. I'm running this. Oh, no, you're not. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Pull the plug. Pull the plug.
Wait, but let's put it into perspective. You don't have to wait till you're divorced to change those things.
Yes.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes,
correct.
Sir.
Exactly. And
so, figure it out.
Yes. And you don't want right now, you're in such an identity crisis mode. You're trying to figure out who you are as a man. I'll use my cases again to make this a little bit more personal, so hopefully some of you guys can relate. When I moved, I'm now, 2,500 miles away from those guys. Before, we could just get together. Me and Eddie Vance, we going to see each other annually on the Woodward Dream Cruise. No diggity, no doubt. We're going to be hitting car shows all summer long. I don't have nobody out here to do that. I mean, shout out to my cuz Kev, but, we don't even get together like that anymore. So, and I don't have that event that bonded us together. Mm-hmm. Eric, we always gonna get together. We're gonna go out and shoot some photos. Even now, me and you ain't even doing photo stuff anymore, really. But if we were in the same spot, it'd be like, man, what you doing? I don't know. You want to just go out and take some photos? Yeah, let's go. And, we don't get a chance to
make it happen.
So I left my tribe. I'm no longer attached to my tribe. Thank God for you brothers to be able to do this. But then, so you might have left your tribe. I did in a move. Then when you figure you lost your job, we get into Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Now, how am I going to have a roof over my head, clothes on me, and putting some food in my belly? I don't know. And then when you get to your identity as a husband and maybe as a father, now the very core of who you are is in question. And that's where that depression starts to come in. So even if you're a man that never had to battle and struggle with depression, you may find yourself doing that now. And we typically don't like women where we go have that support system. I'm glad I got the counsel around me because you guys helped me immensely over those years. But I know a lot of you guys, as Dr. Robert Glover pointed out, no more Mr. Nice Guy. We cut those men off when we start dating because as soon as she touches our wee-wee, we start hanging out with her all the time and no longer hanging out with the fellas. That's how you always know your boy got a woman because he don't show up anymore for anything. And if that's you, first, go get some help. If you're depressed, go get you a life coach. Again, let me know. Contact information is below. I can even refer you to some others that do a great job. But if you really have some struggles, you may need some real professional like psychiatry therapy or a board certified psychologist even. Go get that help. I paid 5 figures, well over 10 G's altogether from about 2017 up until 2024. 5 figures, because you're paying $100+ every time you go to therapy. But it was money well spent because it kept my head together at the time where everything felt like it was collapsing. So even when I did lose my job last year, well, it's just another part of the reconstruction. But that was the main reason I had a struggle getting a divorce. I didn't want to lose everything I had worked for. Now everything is gone. So now what? Thankfully, I at least had some therapy to help me work through all of those things. What's up, everybody? It is the Iron Father Roundtable here with the esteemed council as we get ready to talk about men recalibrating, restoring, and thriving, whether they are certainly about to get a divorce or they are divorced. But men, we're definitely talking to you guys over 50, and we got a good show coming for you guys over 50, especially for you divorced dudes. So don't go anywhere. As always, let me get out the quick housekeeping before I introduce everybody. Make sure you check out the Iron Father Radio podcast. I try to put almost every one of our episodes up, including some of the short episodes. And also definitely subscribe to the Patreon because you want to be privy to kind of our after hour and exclusive content discussions. Mainly, it's not just to lure you in with a Patreon. It's because it's some stuff we just can't really talk about here out in YouTube streets. So today, even after this show, our garage talk is going to be, I'll just give a lead in when we get closer to the topic, but we're just going to kind of talk about, should you pay to play? And some of y'all know what I mean on should you pay to play, but we'll go in a little bit more detail on that. So definitely, if you like the show, like, subscribe, share with other brothers, especially other men that you know that may be having a tough time in their life, in their marriage, in their job, as we're going to look at today. So with that housekeeping being done, let me introduce everybody in order that they showed up first. Derek, how you doing, brother?
Hey, welcome, everybody. Yeah, I'm doing good. Looking for another show. Always wonderful to hang out with the fellas.
Good. Eddie Vance, what's happening with you?
Hey, what's happening, everybody? I'm glad to be here back with the council.
Yes. Yeah, we y'all don't know, but we actually kind of implemented a new rule, so any ladies that we know that happen to be watching this, sometimes we get ready to make decisions, we got to bring them to the council. And if the council be like, no, give her the boot, boom, the council is ruled. And hey, And we want to be that counsel for you. That's why we do the roundtable. Guys, let us know if you have any questions. Our last show, we had a subscriber and a person comment. We answered a good question for them and did a whole show off of it. So we'll be that counsel for you. Don't hesitate to reach out. If you want to reach out to me directly for coaching, definitely let me know. Because as men, a lot of times we wonder, are we crazy? Am I the only one thinking this way? Because this chick got me thinking I'm just out of my mind with some of my ideas, or for wanting to do or get out of a relationship, whatever it is. Sometimes you just need to talk to some more fellas to find out, well, actually, it may be you. But sometimes it's easier to take it from another dude than it is to take it from your woman. So with that, on our last show, Derek, you made a good point, man. You were like, hey, you guys all into that car stuff, but that's not me. That's not me. So I'm going to step out of this today, and I'm going to put this right into the area of expertise of you and Eddie Vance. We're going to talk home improvement. Yeah. That's not my stuff, right? This is y'all stuff. And in this area of home improvement, what I want to discuss with you is this. Again, we have to keep kind of laying the groundwork, because we don't know if we got new people checking it out. And I think it's always good to even add on the things that we're learning. If you think about building a house, and you think about the fact that oftentimes with a divorce, people call it scorched earth. Imagine that house just getting kind of leveled. And really, in reality, you have to give up the house. But I want to talk about two things. Obviously, we've all been through divorce. But I'm going to assume, Eddie Vance, I don't know exactly about you, but as a man that's experienced, well, not so much a divorce, but as a man who's experienced a layoff, I now know what it feels like to be let go of a long-term job. So I've we'll just say a life 180 with a marriage ending, and I now have had a 180 with a long-term job ending. There are a lot of men out there like myself, and I don't know y'all particular story. So I would like to now pick your brains on, if you've lost a job, how did you deal with that? Was it similar to losing your relationship, marriage? And how do you bounce back after both of them? So again, we're going to put this in home improvement terms. What in the world do you do when you feel like, man, the whole house is now burnt up? And now how do you rebuild if you don't even have any money? Because we talked about even rebuilding post-divorce, and you still got to pay that ex-wife. But what do you do when you don't have a job? And now you finding your identity again in relationships, but now you have to find your identity again in the workplace. And all the places that we're going to go some other places with that, but that's the early part of it. So Eddie, I'm gonna throw it over to you first. Have you ever, lost we'll even say, it can be any job, of course, but especially a long-term gig. And did it happen around the time you got divorced? Did it impact your marriage, etc.?
It wasn't around the time I got a divorce, but that was the reason why it led up to it. I worked a long time job in the factories and then in the plants and stuff like that, where I really wasn't happy anyway, just like with the marriage. So sometimes that job mirrors that marriage. So I learned that that wasn't the place for me. And once they let me go, I realized I'm more than what that place was, because I was just becoming complacent, just like in marriage. Complacent dealing with stuff instead of actually being happy. So you got to understand and realize some things do happen for a reason, and they are good. So when you're gone from that comfortable job, you're out of that comfort zone. So now you can move on to be who you really are, the great person that you are. Same thing with divorce, and the same thing with building a house. You got to first start off with a plan. You got to start off with those blueprints. And once you get that established, you have to implement it. And if you're not implementing it, then you know it's going to keep going around in that same circle.
Good stuff. Derek, what about you?
No, that was good. That was good. Yeah, the same way. I mean, I was married for a significant amount of time, and I got divorced because I lost my job.
Wow.
Because of the work that I do, education, corporate education, if you will. When the economy goes bad, so that's the first to go. United States they're not good about training their people. Foreign companies or international companies are very good about making sure when there's a downturn to educate their staff to be able to adapt to the change. U.S. No, they let you go. So anyway, I lost my job and was couldn't find a stable job for like 2 years. Now, in the meantime, I was working. I was working. It was literally at 5 different jobs with all the different things I was doing, but I wasn't bringing in steady money. But I was out there hustling, and my wife at the time literally came to me and said, "You know what? You can't maintain my lifestyle," and she left.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Wow, so much for thick and thin." But to your point, that's just a double whammy. You don't have the support at home. To Eddie's point, very, very well said. When you don't have something right either at your job or at home, it's going to impact either one or both. For real. Yeah. It's going to mirror it totally. And so if you don't have a peaceful home, what do you have? You're not going to have the peace at home to go to work. So that's going to impact it. You can now, at least if your job is not peaceful, you can come home if your wife, significant other, is peaceful. Now, if she wanted to just sit up there and nag, gimme, who wants to deal with that? So it's back to knowing yourself, knowing your standards, knowing what you want, and try to bring it back to the home improvement. You got to have a vision to see it that is it a way. If it's not a way, you got to let some stuff go, and that may be the wife, maybe that family. I mean that job as well. I have a philosophy. A job is like a relationship. I got choices too.
Yeah.
If you're not making me happy, I can walk out the door. I make sure my pedigree is up to par. I got what I need to move on. We all are educated, so we all have that. We have that capability of bouncing back. It's just a matter of do we want to? Where we want to go? What do we want to do? It's not easy, but it's there.
I think in my case, you figure a year, really almost, well, we'll just say nearly a year after being divorced is when I lose my job. And to go through that after being in a career, I mean, this last company, 18 years. I mean, that was literally raising a kid. And for them to cut ties, no performance, they were like, hey, you can reapply in the company if you like. Well, why would I want to? I don't want to go through this anymore. And to now, similar to dating, in the same way, do I want to go back into that former profession, or do I want to start a new profession? I think those are the same dilemmas you have in the dating world too. Do you want to go get married again? Do you not want to go get married again? Do you just want to kick it? Do you want to go settle down? Do you want to even get with the same kind of woman you were married to previously? Or do you not? Or do you just want to be by yourself? And I've learned, especially, for people out there living off of a severance or whatever, a lot of people are just saying, I just need a time to even just relax and be me. And one of the things I looked at in my own life and giving my own self a little bit of grace on is over a 10-year time period. I had 3 things that people say that are some of the most, obviously devastating is the loss of a loved one, your health, etc. But they always talk about a move. I did a cross-country move with an entire family. I got a divorce, and now I lost my job in a 10-year time period. And now to think about rebuilding, I almost feel like that whole house has just been devastated. That whole house has been leveled. So when I talk about the Iron Father program of recalibrating, restoring, and thriving, I'm in the recalibration stage myself in that area. In terms of relationships, I'm moved toward the thriving part, or at least certainly the restoration and thriving. But now in terms of my financial life and making a living, I feel like I'm back at a little bit at the recalibration stage. And that's rough. Because a lot of dudes, I was kicking it with a guy from a men's group I was involved in. His gig ended, and now, he was in his profession for 25 years. In the career thing that I'm involved in, you're seeing people in there 32 years. Like 32 years, you think you'd be retired. But hey, folks can't always retire. So they're still looking for another job after all that time. So now, again, guys out there, I really want to talk to those of you, and definitely let us know in the comments below. How many of you have lost your job in close to the same time frame that you've gotten divorced? and how are you dealing with that? So Eddie, back on you. I would ask, what would be some advice that you would give on guys that now, again, let's think of that house. Do you try to refurbish what you have? Do you go for a smaller apartment? Do you buy another house? What kind of foundation do you lay? Use whatever home improvement term you want that may fit. But now guys that are looking around at that level, like, I don't know what to do where I'm at now.
You got to look at if it's a total loss or if I can rebuild it, and if it's worth rebuilding. Your location is everything. So same thing with relationships. You have to back up sometimes and regroup, because the job is the same thing. Because you're going to go in there, you're going to do your best, you're going to go there to impress, you're going to bring what you have to the table to make that job a better place and not be a job. So it's the same thing. You want me to use home improvement terminology, but it really mirrors back on to relationships too. Because most of the time, if guys don't have good relationships, they don't have good jobs neither, because they don't know how to function in either one.
Ooh.
So that's why you got to have a plan and be focused. Me and my situation, I knew it was time for me to leave that job, and they knew it too. So that's why they pushed me and let me go, gave me the courage to go out there and start my own business. But how the divorce started was my ex-wife didn't believe in me starting my own business. She wanted me to go be miserable at another plant and work those 12, 13, 16-hour days that I didn't want to do. So I say start off with that plan first. You got to always start off with that plan. And if it takes some time stepping back to say, you know what, this is a total loss. So before you start dumping all your money on trying to fix up a hole in the ground, you got to make sure you got that blueprint. You got to make sure you have something where you say, okay, the engineering print that says this is what it's going to take. And you have to have the discernment to know it's going to cost too much. It's going to take too much of my time. So yeah, getting that 1-bedroom apartment. Do what you have to do to survive, to implement your goal and your plan.
Good stuff. What about you, D?
Yeah, very, very good. I mean, I agree with it. Piggyback off that. I mean, it's just a matter of knowing, as we always say, you got to know yourself. You have to know whether or not this is something you can do. Do you have the skills to transfer or to do something different? Do you have the capability? You can't just say, well, I want to start a job doing construction. Wait.
Yeah.
Is that concrete or is that sand? What is that? And you don't know the difference between the material. You're not going to do so good, right? So it's a matter of knowing yourself well enough to know whether or not you can do it, because starting your own business, I mean, we all can contest to that. It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you.
Yeah.
And most likely you're not going to make it the first go round. You got to crawl before you walk, for sure. And so, like, good point, Deb, when you say, hey, you may have to downsize and start off slow, get that 1-bedroom, sit on some crates for a minute and go from there. But you have to start off small. You can't jump in. They always say, jump in with both feet. No, you better stick a toe in this one.
Yep.
You better test the waters.
Take a long look and make a plan.
Yes, sir. Because we talking about not having no money. We don't want to go ahead and potentially sink everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you have to start slow and say, you know what, I have to pace this just right. And I may have to get me a part-time gig just to keep the lights on for the moment.
Yes.
Do what you got to do. And it's not easy. Not easy at all.
And like I said, with that plan, like say you want to be a plumber, you want to be an electrician. So you have to account for those times for you to learn those skills if you don't have them. So if that's your goal, then you got to make sure that you're doing what you need to do to reach that goal. I don't care if it's a roofer or a plumber or a carpenter. You got to learn those skills if you already don't have them in you. And for you to learn them, you want to be the best in the world. You don't want to be average. You want to make sure you're the best in the world, because if you're the best in the world, who's going to be better than you? And you have to think like that when you're in a relationship or you're on a job. If you don't have that confidence for yourself, you're just going to lose and be a loser.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, it's a matter of when we go on jobs, what do we do? Sell your best set, give your best at it, and do your elevator speech, do this, do that. And you're advertising yourself. If you're not going to stand up and present yourself in the best light, who else is going to do it?
No one. No one.
So you might as well go ahead and you got to back to knowing yourself. Know yourself, have confidence in yourself, know what works for you. I mean, we talking about 50 plus at this point. I mean, this is applicable to all. So you should have an idea of who you are and what you are capable of doing. You know, we all have some level of skill. Hopefully, at the age of 50, build on it.
And you know, a guy, and I was telling you guys pre-show about this guy, Donald Black. And you know, Donald, if you're out there again, man, thank you for all your wisdom that you provide. And you know, he's going to hopefully be on the show. I'm going to try to record that show in late February or early March. And we were just meeting, and he mentioned something that sometimes a relationship with a woman is like having each one of your teeth individually knocked out at different times. And when and I know that's why I thought of the visual. Oh, man. And here's the key thing that he said. And when as that's happening, you're feeling uglier and uglier and uglier. And a lot of guys are getting back out there into the dating world with everything, all of this going on. You got divorced. Now you lost your job. And oh man, now y'all know Iron Father started out talking about fitness. So woe is you who you got 50 plus pounds to lose and got health issues as well. You may not be feeling your best getting out here having to date again, even though you want to, because you're not at a point in your life where you want to be celibate or a priest. So therefore, that gives another dilemma. And so when he said that, I thought about that, of just how you feel about yourself. You feel ugly. You don't feel like really, and we didn't also get into low testosterone. We've talked about that before, on how you don't just feel like moving. But the main thing I want to add to that, and Ed, you touched on it as well when you talked about, and Derek, you said skills to transfer, and I thought about a system. Right now, I'm even working with my girl on the development of a system. And I'm telling another guy about that as well, of going back, systems thinking. And I think both of you, and this is why I wanted to talk about this in the show, both of you are extremely good at systems thinking. And so I think that a man needs to first back up, Derek, again, knowing yourself, develop your system. Because if you do not have a system developed, you don't really know what you need to change, what you want to change. And then if something isn't going wrong, you don't know what to change, because now it's like, this isn't right. And you don't even know how to change it, because again, you're still making decisions like you're 15, even though you're 50. And that could be whether it's a relationship with a girl, it could be a job. So let me give you an example. The guy that says, all right, I lost my job and I'm just going to go, again, what you guys said, I'm just going to do X, Y, and Z. It's like, but you don't have the skill set to do that. Yeah, but that's the only thing I can do right now. But for many people, I'll say myself included, I stay at companies for a while. Why would I go work a job that's not a good fit for me just because I'm panicking and just to do something? Again, we ain't talking about if you got to keep a roof over your head. That's a different story. But there are people that they would do almost anything just to have some money coming in, but then complain about that job the whole time. And it's because, is this job a good fit for you? Did you give it any thought, or were you just going on Monster or Indeed? And it's almost like, again, like when we were younger, hey, let me fill out an application. But did you think about, is this a job you really want to be in and stay in? And then folks don't leave it. And they do the same exact thing with relationships. They just get a girl because she like them, and she interested. She want to go out. And it's like, well, why are you with her? They never thought inwardly on, why am I with her? Because they don't have a system developed in either area. Derek, you have something to jump in on that with.
Yeah, I mean, it's for me, when it comes to a job, I don't stay at jobs long. And it's not because I just like, whatever. I'm a person that like to think. And the sad thing is, when it comes to training, you wind up having people that's over training that never trained in their life and don't understand that training is a system. It's not just because I'm a subject matter expert and I can train because I have the knowledge. No, I can train on stuff I don't know anything about, because there's a different way. You can learn the material. You can learn this and learn that, and then you can apply it, and you know how to work your audience, because they got the knowledge. You just trying to show them how to plan it better, how to put it into a systematic approach, and how to make it more efficient, how to troubleshoot things, for example. People don't know how to troubleshoot, and how, back to the systems, you started the old KISS program, right? you know, I used to train people about, you know, well, when you're working on this control panel and the power light goes out, but the conveyor's still going, what do you want to do? I've had people talking about, well, you need to go get the schematics out and understand what's going on. Man, you got to break all this down and do this and this and this. I said, how about just change the light bulb? You know, it's
order of operations.
Right. Just look at the order of operations, the sequence of things. And to your point, it's a matter of knowing yourself. But one of the other things, to your point, Dev, is that sometimes I want to learn how to do that. So I got to get a job that starts and they will help me to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
That's also a key piece. I may not have the experience, but I'm going to go back. I have the capabilities of being this high, but I'm going to take this job, learn my skills, then apply what I know over here, and now I'm going to be above. So it's also a matter of knowing, hey, it's new. People, the one thing I say is the one thing that is constant is change.
Yes.
So you have to be ready for change and know that it's going to happen whether you like it or not. The world keeps spinning for a reason. It didn't stop. So jump on board and be ready to reinvent yourself. But you have the level of security. Don't give up everything for something new. But back to that, stick that toe in there. Sometimes we need to go ahead and adjust and figure out, you know what, maybe I do want to get into plumbing. Maybe I want to go ahead and hang out on the weekends with this guy that's doing it over here and get a little apprentice going on and then build. But I got a full-time job Monday through Friday doing something else.
To pay those bills. But see, that takes that gumption to get out there and do it. When people are feeling depressed and they feel like, oh, there's no way. When you're learning something, to me, when I'm learning something new, I'm all into it. I'm like, okay, I got to learn it. Yeah, come on. So now that depression and that feeling bad is pushed to the side because now I'm getting this good stuff that's coming in now. I'm getting this stuff that I know that's going to make me better. And you can put that in a relationship. You can put that in the job market. And you can even put it with your finances because a lot of people don't know how to finance money either. That's another thing that makes them afraid of change because they're only used to one way of getting that money because they only know one way how to budget and manage that money. So you got to budget and manage your job, your lifestyle, your woman, and your growth as a human being.
Never too old to learn.
Never.
That's good. So, all right, let's go here. So you're trying to do that and recover on the job side. But now, again, in the same time, maybe your marriage has ended or is ending. Okay. Derek, what would you say would be some ways that a man could manage both of those things when everything feels like it's crumbling at that same time? So I'll give you an example. Some people may say, hey, only focus on maybe the job because you don't want to tackle the marriage and fight that battle on that front as well, especially for dudes going through a divorce. I know one thing I did. I actually and it's probably one of the things that led to me being let go. I left the team that I was with the longest and had my most expertise to go somewhere new. I saw where the market was going. This is going to be the next skill that's going to be needed. That left me exposed. At that same time, though, was exactly when I was going through my divorce. And so I did kind of wonder. I still think about it at times now, but I don't trip over it. But it's like, did I have a desire to go to that new position? Because I was like, I'm starting everything over new. Not only in the marriage or not only in my divorce life, but job life. I was almost intentionally demolishing my house to rebuild it. And that left me exposed. But there are maybe some dudes that are tackling both at the same time. Go ahead, D.
No, but to your point, though, I mean, when you're not happy at home, you have to look for some level of excitement. I'm changing my job. And that's what it sounded like you were doing. It's like, you know what? I can't fix this, but I can work with this because I'm in control of this side. So I'm going to go look for this other piece and building it up. And it's not a negative. It's like, look, this is going to work for me because to your point, I saw the market shifting. So I'm shifting with it so that I can build my skill set. Okay, you hit a pothole. That's not a detriment to you. That's to them. You know, that was a admirable thing to go ahead and see that and be able to jump on it. Who can say that? You know, so dealing with both of them, yeah, it's difficult. You have to play your cards right, and you have to keep it close to your vest, because now you also got to look at your money. If I'm about to lose my job, I can't keep it in the same pot that my wife about to take.
Ooh,
Hey.
we're going to touch on that next. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. I give every brother I know that's gone through a divorce and everything, I tell them the same thing. Start separating your money. You know, you don't know that day you're gonna get a divorce. You knew that 5-6 years ago. So you start planning and preparing for it. You get that structure to plan and prepare to make that exit. Same way with the job. Same thing. You got those feelings, but you implement them in different areas that you feel you have control in. Same thing Derek was saying. But you got to have a plan in that structure. If you don't, you're just going to be sitting up there lost. Write it down. Take a picture of it. Dictation machine. Do something to make sure you're headed in the right path, the right way. Lean towards the market. Go towards that. Stop sitting up there feeling sorry for yourself.
Yes, indeed. But Deb, we're going to circle back to this and say, hey, guess what? You have to understand, if you also doing and trying to juggle both, I'm sorry, but your confidant is not at home anymore. You can't rely on your wife, because guess what? She goes, well, you better stick with that job, because I know I can get more money while you're there before you leave, because that's guaranteed. Because I can't lock in X, Y, and Z if you about to lose your job, if you're going to change your job and you're going to do this and you're going to do that. You have to understand that she ain't in your corner no more.
Yes. Man, that hit because I'm sure, again, there's probably a lot of you guys definitely comment down below, like and subscribe if this hit some nerves. This is what we talk about here on the roundtable. Man, that hit, because if you are going through a divorce, there's that old saying, it's changing now with women in the workplace for sure. But again, on average, most men still make more money than their wives do, or you wouldn't be with her in most cases. She wouldn't be with you. It's the fact that part. It's the fact that every day you work, let's say an 8-hour shift, or if you're salary, you worked from July to December for your wife, because you're giving up half. Actually, giving up more than half when you total up the cash and prizes. Imagine, let's look at it, or maybe we'll make it easier, more palatable. Every even number month is for you. Every odd number month is for your wife. Maybe that's a little bit better, so you don't feel like the whole year is being wasted. And that's, again, because we've been through the divorce game. We know what that's going to happen. And women who have been divorced that were the higher salary maker or the highest salary spouse, you know what I'm saying is true as well. Because that's why when you meet the three of us, you're more than open to, if I got married again, I'm getting a prenup. Because you know what it's like that you have to maybe pay that man something, or maybe you just escape. Because again, see my video, men are stupid and lazy when it comes to divorce. They oftentimes won't fight for things that they could get, and women ain't playing that game. But my point is, Derek, you hit it, is that you're looking at now your money situation. You either are about to get divorced, or you know you're about to get divorced, or you have just gotten divorced. If you're about to get divorced, it's like, wow, if I go make this more money, that's more she's going to try to take. And if you've just gotten divorced, and you may be like some of us out here, you're going to be paying spousal support, aka alimony, for who knows how many years. And I'm going to tell you, the more money you make, the longer she's going to try to get that spousal support, because it's about conditions. For those of you who love bragging to the guys, and I was there, I'm full confession, I was there. You don't really, not that you love bragging, but you tell people, I have a stay-at-home wife. Yep, my wife stays at home. Your confession is going to eat you up in court, because she's going to definitely play you. Just like on your taxes, you got another dependent. You're going to see you got another dependent when you get inside that divorce courtroom, because she's going to be like, I'm a child. I can't work. I need his money to make it. And she's going to try to get you to pay as long as possible. In the meantime, she's a strong, independent woman. Conversely, if you've just gotten divorced and then you lose your job, did you get, and we talked about this on the past show, so let me go over it again. Did you get it non-modifiable or modifiable? Depending on your estate, it may be worded differently. But in a modifiable divorce, you can go back and let's say you lose your job. You can at least theoretically go back to court and say, hey, my spousal support obligations to her, I need those things to be reduced because I just lost my job. Then they're going to let her weigh in on it. And, who knows how things go. I'm sure you're paying for a lawyer just to do that. But okay, it is what it is. We hear this with athletes all the time. Hey, I'm divorced, but I still got to pay her alimony. I'm no longer an NFL player getting this $1 million checks. Can you reduce it? And a lot of times the judge be like, nope, especially if it's children. That's child support, but still, they don't play. But if you get it non-modifiable, that means that, all right, you lost your job. Tough. Hey, if you homeless, you living out your car, it is what it is. But you wanted it to where those books don't get opened again. I knew that was a risk that I was taking. And dear, like you said, playing cards, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. I mean, I could say I gambled and lost because I knew even in my mediation, I said I could lose my job because my ex wanted me paying until I was in my 70s. Again, stay-at-home mom risk for y'all to go for that game. That's why I ain't playing that game here. Wanted me to pay till I'm well into my 70s. I would have been getting my doggone Social Security check trying to still pay for some spousal support. What? Strong, independent woman. So in that to say,
man, we need to talk about that one, man.
Whoa.
You independent, but you need my money after the fact.
Yeah, because that's
you're not giving me nothing for it.
No, you're independent, but you need my money, period. You need my money to eat, to survive, to walk around, to breathe air. You don't need my money for that.
It just amazes me how you can get a divorce. Now, I never had to pay alimony. In Michigan, it's a no fault. So when you get a divorce, I got to pay you like we were married, but you don't do nothing for me like we were married. Well, how is that equal? Oh, we got equal rights for what? Huh?
Oh, so what you're paying for is nothing. So wouldn't you rather pay to get something in return?
Well, I'll come back to that, Eddie. You just gave us the segue.
I see what you did there.
I see what you did there. Right. Exactly. Good job, man. Good job.
Yeah,
that's
good.
why his brother on the council. but just so y'all know, especially with the stay at home, or it could even just be the woman that doesn't make as much money. For those who don't know what they're saying, the court is going to make you pay because number one, it's not personal, it's business. Yeah. They know that this woman does not have they assume that this woman does not have the ability because she's going to go in there and say, I can't work because I've been out of the workplace for 10 or 15 years. So blah, 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 blah. I can't make enough money to sustain myself. And the government says, we ain't paying for that chick. we ain't paying for your kids, or are we paying for her? Mm-hmm. All right. So then they make you pay because the government isn't going to take on that responsibility. So therefore, you're going to, bottom line, you're going to be paying for the roof over her head that somebody else can even go over there and hit it. You paying for her hotel room. You paying for Rollo's hotel room. Mm-hmm. You want to talk about why you can't be attached to the puss? There it is. So that's the background of what those guys are saying. And Eddie, what you said, we are going to talk about that in the garage. Because let's go there real fast, and we'll hit this through the garage. Go ahead, Derek.
Let me clarify something. Michigan is a no fault, but if you married for 10 years, you got to pay alimony. You got to pay something.
Woo! That's almost like the military used to be, or it still is. Man. So, Eddie, you threw in there, basically, it's better to pay for some other stuff. If you paying for something you ain't getting no more, then pay for something you can't get. So let's go here because I think it's part of the conversation. Y'all notice the roundtable. We talk about relationships a little more deeply, but we're not going to go all the way here. We're going to save that into our next segment on Patreon for the garage. But yeah, how do you get back out here and start dating again as well? Because now you paying her. Because let's also think, when you find a new job, whatever you paying her per year, you got to take that off the top of your salary that you're about to get. So off the top. That money is going. So even on your next job, she's still benefiting from it. And now you out trying to date. If y'all have gone through this already, what was the reaction for other women when you were divorced and didn't have a job, or just got let go?
Well, with me, I hate to quote Corey Holcomb, but I used to get with the bum chicks that was bums, and that way that helped me bring my confidence level up so I could step back up to ones that was a little bit more. But hey, sometimes brothers get your confidence level up. You got to get an Ugmo. You got to get a Fugly. You got to get one of them night fighters. You got to get one of them. They'll help you up.
Night fighters.
I heard night fighters.
Oh man, you want to know what a night fighter is?
Who's a night fighter?
You only bring her out at night, and then when she see her in the daytime, be like, "Oh shit, I got to get her back in the dark."
Is that like a butterface?
Yep, yeah, exactly, same thing.
Wow.
But you only bring her out at night.
Night fighter. Okay.
That's a new one, boy.
That's a new one.
I go to bed smarter than I woke up this morning with that one. All right,
There
night
you
fighter. I'm thinking Walking Dead, a night biter or something.
Night fighter. Is that like a cricket?
Oh, they're so ugly. Maybe I should rename it Day Fighters because you only can bring them out at night. Maybe I should call them Day Fighters.
Wow, yeah, they fight for the daytime.
Right.
Man.
Wow.
No, I mean, so I got confidence. I'm good with that. I just don't say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say I don't have a job. What you do? Yeah, I consult, which I have. I've done that. You know, those are some of the things I do, but none of their business. We're not kicking into nothing. You don't need to know all that.
Ooh,
exactly.
Ooh,
None
love
of
it.
your business.
Love it.
Thank you. Yep.
I'm in control of my own destiny. I don't need to tell you that. I don't need to share my faults or the things that have tripped me up in life when we ain't in that sharing mode. Let's get there. Then I'll have no problem with it. But in the beginning, you don't need to know that. No more than I need to know. No, but I don't ask what kind of money you bringing in.
Mm-hmm.
I've never asked that question.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to know what I'm doing. I mean, it's a title is a title, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't mean what kind of money you bringing in anyway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we know janitors making some money, right?
Yes.
They own the business, but they still working it. Whatever, you know?
I know a guy cutting grass. He's been cutting grass for over 25 years. He put 3 kids through college.
There you go.
And he's a landscaper.
Yep.
So you can do anything to get your money and do. It's about what makes you better. Once you get through this, it's life. So you got to get through something. You got to be able to slip through these hard times and not get consumed with it. Because if you let that stuff consume, you're going to be a miserable person. And it's going to make you look older. So don't do that.
So can I say then, part of developing your system for the new home that you're building is putting up a security system that you probably didn't have at first. So in this case, the security gate or security system that we can say, we'll say security gate. Because Derek, like you said, I don't know you like that. So you ain't even in my house yet. It's just a matter, can you get on my property? Part of your security system is none ya. Ain't none of your business.
Exactly.
Because
just because somebody asks don't mean you have to answer.
I mean, you know, it's funny to me that women will say on dating apps, you know, there are certain websites where they ask for their weight or they ask for their body type. They don't want that. They don't want nobody asking about their weight, body size, or whatever. But then as a man, why do we want profession and income? Because just as their weight and body thing is something that they want to not oftentimes disclose and tell, it can work the same way for us, even if we got a high salary. Do you want to put that on a dating app? Because you know what these chicks out here filtering for. So, and does it put undue pressure on you? Because a woman will ask. You know, I was just, you know, again, having a discussion with a guy, and he was like, hey, I've dated 2 millionaires. And so, you know, he was talking about the ramification of that. But we don't assume we getting that woman's money anyway. But when she interacts with us, they will ask, so what do you do? And that is a real low-key backdoor way of saying, so how much money do you make? So, Eddie, if you don't have a job and all of your resources is going to sustain yourself and also pay for that ex-wife and maybe those kids, what do you do when you don't have money to date? Are you struggling? Should you just sit on the sidelines? Should you go, as they call it, monk mode, stay out the dating game because you can't afford to be there? What would you advise?
I would advise to bring your confidence level up. Like Derek said, I got a high confidence level too. So if a person have a high confidence level, okay, yeah, you can get kicked, you know, but you got to get yourself back up. You cannot sit there and waddle in the mud. You got to get up out of there. You got to rinse yourself off, regroup, even if you have to take 3-4 steps back. you got to know now that part of your life is over. It's done. It's no rebuilding. It's no going back, regrouping it. So now you got to think about what's forward. Think forward. Always think forward and stop thinking about, oh, well, she done took all this from me and now I ain't got nothing. I got to start all over again. Don't nobody give a damn. You're a man. You just got to do it.
That's the truth. Yeah, dear. What would you say in the midst of all of that?
Yeah, I mean, same thing. It's just a matter of being confident. It's hard to be confident in misery. I give you that.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of take a moment, feel yourself, get the little pity party going, but know that it's time to cut it at a certain point because you're going. That's a bottomless pit. Have your hands on the side and dip in and come back out. Because when you let go, you're going down. So don't fall in the pitfalls of misery, depression, and all of that. You have to have a good support group. Talk to some people, you know?
Yeah, don't be like the crabs in the barrel like that. You got to have a good support system around you. That's important too, Darren. I'm glad you mentioned that. Because if you have the wrong people around, just like crabs in the barrel, they see you down, they're going to keep pulling you down because they won't come. So you got to surround yourself around the right people. And you got to be able to have now that you have these new rules after going through that divorce or losing that job, now you got the blueprint to set up and the discernment to know what's going to help you go further.
Right. Yes. Right. Now we talk about self. This is all about self. You have to know how to build yourself up. And here's the thing. You sometimes even levels of meditation. Well, what would that look like? Some people cut grass. Some people do puzzles. Some people do paintings. Some people play pool. Find something, but here's a catch. Find something that's for you as an individual where you don't need somebody else, where you're in charge of how much money is spent. You know, you don't have to go out. You just because you don't have money don't mean you can't date. Women do it all the time. Okay. Come on now.
That's the MO. They go out on more dates the less money they have.
Yeah, that's their rule.
Come on now. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Ain't that the way it go?
But that takes confidence.
Something you can work. Now listen, I'm not a foodie. These brothers over there, they'll cook for you. And look, I got a stove, you know. I think it's gas, but you know, I don't cook. I'm not a foodie. I don't do restaurant stuff. I eat because I need to, and guess what? I love McDonald's and Wendy's, and I can still keep this girlish figure. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So you know, I don't do it. So I'm not gonna volunteer to go take somebody to a restaurant. We can go get some coffee. We can go get. I don't even do the drinks because I got an extensive bar at the house. So we can figure something out. We can take a walk. I love taking a walk on the beach. Do this, do something. I ain't Dev. I ain't going no hiking on nowhere. But maybe when we get to know each other, maybe, you know. But you got to know yourself and understand that everything to be happy doesn't cost you.
Yeah.
And one of the best first dates I've ever had was when I walked along the it's not a boardwalk, but it was along the riverfront. I think it was down in Detroit.
Riverwalk.
Just walk. Just talk, walk. One of the best first dates I've ever had.
Yep.
But guess what? We only had one day. So, but anyway, you know, hey, it is what it is, right?
That was a good conversation. But you know why it was so good? It was so good because obviously whatever happened, you knew ain't no second date. So that might have avoided you from a whole lot of mess, which makes it a great first date. You didn't waste time anymore.
And that's a testimony that know when to drop it, when to cut it, and just keep on moving. You can enjoy it, but you don't have to stay in it.
Nope.
Yes.
Keep
Literally.
So again, know yourself. Be confident. Hey, wear pink sometimes.
There you
go. Or wait a minute, Robin Eggshell Blue.
Right. Oh, is that what
there you go? There you go.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, Robin Eggshell Blue right here. Yeah.
The very fact that you knew that's the name of the color.
There you go.
You just been way too much. I'm searching for the. Do you have the Robin Eggshell Blue? No, I got navy. No, I need the Robin L. Slave.
I want the eggshell blue.
Yes.
That's the one I'm looking for.
And a little gray poupon, please.
Hey, I am a foodie, so yes.
I'm gonna drink my water bottle like this now.
Oh yeah, with all the accoutrements.
Right. Man, but that is so on point because I will say I would have found the same thing. And this is part of, again, that rebuilding, getting your system developed. I think this gives a man time to have brutal honesty with a woman because you automatically, as you begin to rebuild that house, you killing your ego. Because Derek, you nailed it. We're going to go out to the movie. I'm going to go to a fancy dinner. And Ed, you said this one time to me years ago. I go not because she wants to go. I go because that's where I like to eat. Yeah. And those are two different reasons. Most dudes go because that's where she wants to go. There are these funny clips on IG or on TikTok or whatever where they get women to tell them it's like how to get your girl to tell you where she wants to go eat. And he go, girl, I was just getting ready to take you to your favorite restaurant. And she's like, really? We going to the Chateau Lagreen? He's like, how did you guess? And it's funny, but that's what dudes do. Instead of me, or we're going to use Derek because he said it best. Instead of Derek being like, no, we going to McDonald's. So, girl, you know how I roll. We going to McDonald's.
I already know what I want.
Hey, actually, in my experience, the woman respects you more because you telling her, look, we going here, we doing that, and that's what's going to happen. You don't like it, bye.
Yes, and that's me with the date.
Oh, he said we going here.
We going.
We might get some
cheese.
Yes.
I'm gonna supersize my fries, girl.
Right.
No salt.
Right. And that's me with the hiking because it's right. That's me with the hiking because I like to hike. And first of all, if a woman doesn't like to hike, we're gonna have a problem. If a woman doesn't want to really do anything physical outside, we're going to have a problem. Mm-hmm. And if the woman can't hike, we're going to have a problem. Mm-hmm. And then if I get tired of her on the hike, I know we're going to have a problem. So, and there's a level of trust. If we've already had a bit of a rapport and she trusts me enough, I know she's going to text her friend, hey, I'm going hiking with this guy. If I don't, if I come up missing, there's a level of trust that she's already putting in me that is good. But if she got some trust issues, we're going to have a problem. So a lot of stuff gets weeded out. And the other key thing is it don't cost any money. Because why in the world am I spending some money? I wouldn't spend no money on my neighbor. I wouldn't spend the money on somebody else's kid that I don't know. We don't do that in any other facet of society, but we've been taught that we need to do that with a woman. And now that you've gotten divorced and you lost your job, you can't afford to be out here flossing with your ego. You can't afford it because you're writing a check that literally ain't going to get cash. It literally may not get cash because you could be going on a whole bunch of dates and your bank account is steadily going like this.
Yep. So why not invest your money in something that you like? If you doing it for you, she's there to accompany you. So if you don't have a good time, go home. I'm still going to be here. Yes. Even if you wasn't here with me, it will be somebody else here with me. Or I can be here by myself. And it can be a walk. It can be McDonald's. It can be a car cruise. It can be, hell, an open house. I used to love going with a couple of chicks going to open houses. On Sundays, we'll go to open houses just to get ideas on how to remodel a house or something like that. Just to see what her mentality is.
Yeah.
And they also have...
And that's free. It's free.
Yeah, and they have hors d'oeuvres there too. You might pick up a little snack.
Oh my goodness, man! The foodie, man. You get the little cheese crackers with that little slice of salami on there, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Or the cookies. The cookies is a good one too.
Yeah, I know that's right. You really feel like, girl, I done brought you someplace mighty nice, didn't I?
You smell them chocolate chip cookies baking in there. Come on.
Hey, even go to Costco's. They do that on Sundays, don't they?
Hey, for real, yeah, you could do that.
Hey, but we got to stay budget conscious. The Costco membership costs money.
There you go.
Well, you going anyway, or if she has a Costco membership, I'll go there with you.
Even greater.
Just love for you to do stuff with them and for them to have a companion. Oh, girl, I'll go to the store because their husband never went to the store with them. So who knows? That may be one way you do it. But all right, as we get ready to close this out, I want to play a video for you, and I forgot to start with this. I had it queued up and everything. But how you guys doing on time?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay, cool. Because we're going to go to the garage, but I wanted to play this video. I wanted to start with this, but I still think it's okay for us to add it in, even on the closing. And we'll use this kind of as a segue to go to the garage. So let me pop this up.
All good.
Right.
Perfect, perfect. So let's hear with this gentleman. I love this shout out to Diary of a CEO. This is a clip, and this gentleman was actually, I was surprised, John Carricow. And he is talking about surveillance, etc. So you'll know that got my attention. But I was surprised at his answer to this question. I actually want to steal this from this podcast, but it'll be straight up biting if I stole it on their technique. Because you're going to hear him say the last person left a question for you. And I think that's what threw it off and was like, wait a minute, whoa, here it is. He's talking about CIA, spying, etc. But the last question that was given to him, you could tell it hit this dude deep. And that was one reason why I thought about this topic for the show. Here we go.
We have a closing tradition where the last guest leaves a question for the next, not knowing who they're going to be leaving it for. And the question left for you is, what's something you stopped doing that improved your life more than anything you started?
Feeling sorry for myself. I'll be honest with you. I have struggled with depression my entire life. And after my second divorce, I went through this period where I couldn't pull myself out of bed in the morning because I felt so sorry for myself.
Because of the divorce, or because of your life, or because...
The whole thing. I believed I was just a loser. I was in my 50s, unemployable, convicted felon, barely able to make ends meet, worried about where my rent was coming from one month to the next. And then I thought, fuck you. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You don't have to answer to anybody. And I told myself no more feeling sorry for myself. I was going to go make a career on my own. And so I knew I would never work for government again. I knew I would never work in corporate America again. After I left the CIA, I was the head of the competitive intelligence practice at Deloitte & Touche, spying on Ernst & Young and PwC and IBM, and it was great fun. I'll never work in the corporate world again. So I decided I'm going to do what I'm good at. And I'm a terrific writer. And I'm told that I'm a gifted storyteller. So I'm going to write books. I have 2 syndicated newspaper columns that run in 212 small town papers around the country. I'm on TV all the time. I have 3 podcasts, deprogram every day on both YouTube and Rumble. Thanks for letting me plug them, by the way.
Go ahead.
Deprogram on YouTube and on Apple Podcasts, John Kiriaku's Dead Drop, which is just story after story after story. And now I make a perfectly great living. I'm in a long-term relationship with the woman I'm crazy about, and life is good.
And it all started with that decision to stop feeling sorry for yourself.
Yes. If people around me keep saying, you've done nothing wrong, you're a hero for what you did, and deep down, I would do it again, then why am I feeling sorry for myself? I'm right, they're wrong, they're criminals, so I'm just going to go on with my life. And that snapped me out of it.
If you love the Diary of a CEO brand and you watch this channel, please do me a huge favor.
You know, that's interesting, because that's what got me to where I'm at, to a some degree. That's pretty telling. I 10th grade, I was depressed, even contemplated, and I said to myself, you know what? Why do I care so much about what other people think about me? When I did that, I was a completely different guy. I am not the same guy in high school. I was afraid of my own shadow. Now I'm like, hey, what's up? You know, completely different. I mean, but it's, again, you self-awareness. You have to be aware of what gets you down, and then you have to ask, like he said, why? Ask yourself, why are you depressed? Why? Okay, you got a stumbling block. Figure it out. Move on to something else to get you out of this. Do something. Don't make it detrimental. Don't make it expensive. have a plan.
Yes, sir.
And work the plan.
Yeah, man,
that was good. I like that.
Let me ask this: how did you come? I mean, you came to a revelation at what, 14, 15, 16 years old that people are just now coming to at 56. What do you think the difference was?
I stopped looking for. I wasn't looking to others for who I am. I didn't look for others for my identity. You know, I got bullied in high school, and a girl came to my rescue. I ain't gonna kid you. I was like, yeah, I needed it at the time, but I don't need it no more. You know what I mean? So you got to look at something and make it a positive. It can be bad. It can be real bad. And I pride myself that I confronted that guy with his family. I felt good.
Yeah. See?
Yeah. Statute of limitations. Don't tell nothing that
Hey, but I agree 100% with Derek. I love that video. I like what he was saying. And yeah, everybody goes through depression. We are human beings. We're going to go through that, and especially with men. Nobody gives a damn if you sitting in your room crying and soaking. You just going to look stupid. When I was going through that stuff, I wasn't as young as Derek, but when I was going through that stuff with my depression and all of that type of stuff, and just like with him, a woman actually saved me. She was such of a higher caliber woman that I think I couldn't get her, but she was so interested in me, she pulled me out of that and made me realize, you know what? I am not a loser. I didn't stay with her, but I'm not a loser, and I can actually get out here and do something. So if you change your mentality and get out there and actually physically start moving, I don't give a damn what it is. Go rake a leaf, walk around the block, go to there, go sit at McDonald's or something like that. Do something to get you out that normal drab. Nobody else is going to validate you. This ain't the valet parking. Nobody's going to validate you. You got to do it yourself. Do it yourself. So men, even at 50, 15 and 50 seems like it is so far apart, but we still have those same feelings and emotions that sometimes we got to break through. We grown now. Put them big boy drawers on. Let your nuts hang.
Good stuff, y'all. And just to be definitely responsible, the self-deletion hotline, if any of you guys are struggling with that, the self-deletion hotline is, let me confirm, because I just looked at it, but I'm getting old. You know, y'all know brother got old, but I want to make sure this is right. That is 988. That is again, if we're on YouTube, the self-deletion and crisis hotline. Again, that number is 988, because it's hard as a guy. Again, we're talking about losing your job, being divorced, and you realize I am more valuable to people now dead than I am alive. And that's a hard thing, because I'm already tell you, me and another guy was talking about, oftentimes if you have daughters, sorry to tell you, but a lot of times your daughters really communicate with you because they want your inheritance, they want some money, you help take care of them, you fix their car, you take care of their house. That's really the impetus behind why they check on daddy. And so when you realize that even you being dead, you're still even valuable to your ex-wife, which, pro tip, guys, get her off that life insurance policy.
Oh, yes.
Not get her off that life insurance
quickly.
Yes, quickly. If you're going through a divorce, you better do it.
And emergency contacts. Do the emergency contacts too, because I was in the hospital and she came up there. I'm running this. Oh, no, you're not. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Pull the plug.
Wait, but let's put it into perspective. You don't have to wait till you divorce to change those things.
Yes.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes,
correct.
Sir.
Exactly. And
so, figure it out.
Yes. And you don't want right now, you're in such an identity crisis mode. You're trying to figure out who you are as a man. I'll use my cases again to make this a little bit more personal, so hopefully some of you guys can relate. When I moved, I'm now 2,500 miles away from those guys. Before, we could just get together. Me and Eddie Vance, we gonna see each other annually on the Woodward Dream Cruise. No diggity, no doubt. We're gonna be hitting car shows all summer long. I don't have nobody out here to do that. I mean, shout out to my cuz Kev, But you know, we don't even get together like that anymore. So, and I had that event that bonded us together. Eric, you know, we always gonna get together. We gonna go out and shoot some photos. Even now, me and you ain't even doing photo stuff anymore, really. But if we were in the same spot, he'd be like, man, what you doing? I don't know. You want to just go out and take some photos? Yeah, let's go. And you know, we don't get a chance to
Make
do
it
that.
happen.
So I left my tribe. I'm no longer attached to my tribe. Thank God for you brothers to be able to do this. But then, so you might have left your tribe. I did in a move. Then when you figure you lost your job, we get into Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Now, how am I going to have a roof over my head, clothes on me, and putting some food in my belly? I don't know. And then when you get to your identity as a husband and maybe as a father, now the very core of who you are is in question. And that's where that depression starts to come in. So even if you're a man that never had to battle and struggle with depression, you may find yourself doing that now. And we typically don't like women where we go have that support system. I'm glad I got the counsel around me because you guys helped me immensely, over those years. But I know a lot of you guys, as Dr. Robert Glover pointed out, no more Mr. Nice Guy. We cut those men off when we start dating because as soon as she touches our wee-wee, we start hanging out with her all the time and no longer hanging out with the fellas. That's how you always know your boy got a woman because he don't show up anymore for anything. And if that's you, first, go get some help. If you are depressed, go get you a life coach. You know, again, let me know. Contact information is below. I can even refer you to some others that do a great job. But if you really have some struggles, you may need some real professional like psychiatry therapy or a board certified psychologist even. Go get that help. I paid 5 figures, well over 10 G's altogether from about 2017 up until 2024. 5 figures, because you paying $100+ every time you go to therapy. But it was money well spent because it kept my head together at the time where everything felt like it was collapsing. So even when I did lose my job last year, well, it's just another part of the reconstruction. But that was the main reason I had a struggle getting a divorce. I didn't want to lose everything I had worked for. Now everything is gone. So now what? Thankfully, I at least had some therapy to help me work through all of those things.
And I want to touch on that too there, Devin. Therapy is so important, and having that support group there with you, not knowing that you're not alone, that other people has been through that and has survived it and thrived after that. So you got to understand that it's not always woe is me. You might be down in the dumps right now, and you definitely need to talk to a professional. It would definitely help you crawl out of that situation, because you don't want nobody to unlife themselves, because what you lost always can be gained back as long as you breathe. So keep that in mind. You're not by yourself, and you can always get better.
Yeah. I mean, we've in our community, sometimes we've even put so much stigmatism on seeking counseling and helping in that regard. Hey, we talk about self-preservation.
Yes.
Who else is going to do it? Because quite frankly, nobody cares about the men folk and they feelings. If you're a man with feelings, you know, what was that thing? Men cry in the dark.
Right.
And, no, you cry in front of your woman and see what happens. See how much respect you lose instantly.
Yep.
Oh,
and it is what it is, but know that, you know, but if you got a true friend that you can, you know, open up to, let it be. Go with it.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. You know, I'll close it out on this, and then, you know, gentlemen, let's move this to the garage. Now, let this be my segue there. This is also why when you start dating again, part of your reconstruction, your recalibration, real fast, you don't have time for a woman that hasn't done work on herself, because you've done the work on yourself. When you start building and fixing up your house, and, you know, especially you guys, it's like, man, I know I done wired this, I done blah, blah, blah. I bet when you walk into somebody else's house, you'd be like, why didn't they fix that?
Yep.
Give me a screwdriver.
Fix that.
Yeah, that's me right there. I can fix that right quick. Give it here.
Right. And plus, now that you've done it on your own as well, you say, I could do that, but it's going to cost you. Or you know the cost to do it. So when another woman, you start getting out here dating again, you realize, wait a minute, I done spent time and money getting my mind and self together. I don't have time to deal with a woman that still wants to be in woe is me mode, and he did this to me and he was a narcissist and he did blah, 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 and I can't get past it and I'm still mad and I still his daddy and blah, blah, blah. You don't have time for that. You don't have
when
time
I see you do this and
yes, because you've done the work on your own house or you're rebuilding your own house. You also realize, again, my therapy doesn't come for free anymore. A woman got to be my woman to get therapy out of me for free. And even then, she got a price to pay, if y'all know what I mean. So, she ain't getting free therapy out of me. No other woman is getting that. It's like, man, that sucks. Your life is pretty
like
bad.
Derek. Keep your mouth closed.
Keep your mouth closed. Exactly. Or like I said in the other show, this is the container. What is outside the container does not impact me. And I don't, because I'm not in Captain Save a 304 mode either. When I was 15, chicks could run that sympathy game. It ain't working on me at 55. It's like, man, what I think it was Robert Greene who said in the 48 Laws of Power, something like one of the laws was staying away from the unlucky people or something like that. You realize you run into a ton of unlucky women. If anything, I'm using my superpower to fly away from them. Because
quick as possible. Underlay.
Riba. Exactly, man. I'm out of here. So with that, guys, let's move to the garage. In our garage segment, in our garage segment, we are going to talk about some alternatives for some of you guys. You may choose that, you know what? I'm spending a lot of money on dates and I don't even know. I don't have the time. I'm searching for a job. I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z to get myself back on my feet. I don't even have a lot of time to waste. There is a school of thought that says, well, sometimes you just pay for something temporarily. And we would never endorse any illegal activity here at Iron Father.
Never anything like that.
But we do have some experts that could, tell us at least the mentality of why guys may choose to go that route, especially at this time when money is tight for them to date, but they may have enough money to say, look, I still need to do whatever. And I want to understand that mentality because, I like to go to bed smarter than when I woke up. So did y'all have anything else to add or should we just move on out and get ready to go to the garage?
I'm good.
Yeah, hey, I think we covered everything, and hopefully we helped a lot of people and stuff like that. And you meet us in the garage. We got some more in-depth stuff to go into.
All right, folks. So we're heading to the garage. You can go there too. Link is down below. That's going to be our Patreon where we put some real discussions that we certainly don't want out here. But, you can definitely have access to those discussions. I have 3 tiers that are developed. So feel free. I'm going to be adding more content. So the garage is being built as we're in there talking right now. So feel free to come on in because this stuff isn't going to be put out public. But it's certainly a lot of it. And it's not just to get in there and just talk. I mean, that's what we can do in the garage. But it is because it allows us to be even more transparent and to talk about some things personally because we all got families and we don't want everybody biz out in the street. Plus, ain't nobody's business except for those who really may be able to benefit. So, because whatever goes on the internet is there forever, especially if it's on a public facing site. So with that, y'all, like, subscribe, please share the video again with some brothers that may be able to benefit. Please tune in to the Iron Father Radio podcast if you want to check this out while you're on the go. I got a couple of interviews that are going to be coming up pretty soon, in addition to, of course, the consistent roundtables. So, and definitely still follow along as we still try to not just talk about all relationship stuff, but as Derek noted earlier, things that's happening in your life, it's also the same way in your relationship. They both coincide, and that's why we talk the way we do about stuff. So with that, y'all, let's go ahead and go to the garage. Holler at y'all later.
All right.
Peace.